Yes, y'all. Welcome into another episode of the Dumb Marks podcast. Welcome, everybody. New intro, new season, so to speak. We had the 1 year episode last week. Gentlemen, how's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Doing good.
Mm-hmm.
A question as males, why don't we splurge on comfy underwear?
Speak for yourself.
Don't need to.
Listen, guys out there, okay? I did some shopping over last weekend, and that had to get some new stuff. Realized the time to re-up on the draws, and bought some nice Harbor Bay boxer briefs, and man, these things were like, it was like putting on a cloud. Like, it was just it's amazing. I'm like, hey, this Hanes and Fruit of the Loom 5-pack from Walmart ain't cutting it. Like, I don't think I will ever go back to buying cheap underwear.
I have a pair of Duluth ones, and they're like silk. I mean, those things are amazing, but that price tag is up there though for them.
Hey, we got to treat ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, girls buying fancy lingerie all the time. Like, I'm going to splurge on the Harbor Bay draws from now on. Like, I can't go back to the Fruit of the Looms or the Hanes. Can't do it.
I tried
with struggle. So
I tried the Under Armour a couple years ago, and it was like nothing. And I was just like, okay. I was like, this is cool. And then I had actually switched over to the Duluth stuff too, Donald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this stuff is nice.
Yeah.
So can I ask what's the flap situation?
The flap is amazing. It's the best flap I've ever seen.
It ain't the one where you got to reach down and untuck and pull up. It ain't the
No,
it's
not. No, it's not the over under grab. No, it's the sliding door, sliding wide open. We're good. Like, that's it. And the door is wide too. Like, not the little where, you know what I mean. Like, you don't shake once or twice and you get yourself. Like, no, this is open. We're good. Free as a bird. Like, I'm telling you, though, they're the best draws I've ever bought in my life. Like, I chop this up and put this out for a clip on the internet the rest of this week to promote the show. But I'm telling you guys, stop being cheap on the draws, guys. Go out and get yourself a nice pair of draws. You will not regret it. Okay. And if Manscaped was sponsoring if Manscaped was sponsoring the pod, we go into a Manscaped ad right there too. You know what I mean? That shameless plug. So Manscaped, if you're listening, you know what I mean. We got the open door right there to get a sponsor on the show. So
let us get a trial trimmer. You know.
I'll even give a quote. One time, I was wearing the Under Armour ones, and someone said to me, "Wait, are you going commando?"
Oh,
like, no.
Wow. Wow. Was it gray sweatpants season whenever you had them on too? Because that must be the double banger. Like, yo, the expensive draws with the gray sweatpants. Like, I'm telling you, it's wintertime. There you go. Single fellas out there, the 3 ends. There you go. You know what I mean? You're out there, had the goodies all packaged nice, you're good to go. All right, everybody good? What's everybody got this week? That's what I wanted to top off because I couldn't believe it. Like, it was just, I was just walking around the room with the drop. Yeah, but it was life changing. I'm like, why am I 37 years old and just now buying me like expensive underwear? Like, I was lied to my whole life saying that Hanes and Fruit of the Loom were the way to go, and that's not the case.
No.
Maybe I'm late to the party. Maybe I'm the one that, you know what I mean. Everybody else is ahead of the curve on this for me, but man, it was
last year
I'm draws right now. So
last year I found out about them, so I was like, man, this is different.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in last week for the 1 year episode. We appreciate everybody. As always, follow us on all social media platforms. Email the show, dumbmarkspod@gmail.com. And with that being said, let's get into the intro topics we normally like to cover here. TV, movies, entertainment, gaming. What do you guys want to kick it off with?
I have a couple things on gaming. Remember last week I was talking about Horizon Forbidden West, about it being like almost $80 for it to convert to PS4 to PS5. Well, Sony backtracked on that because it was getting a lot of hate. So if you buy the disc on PS4, you get a free upgrade to the PS5. So you get that. But then Sony says for now on going after Horizon, any first party games that come out will be an automatic $10 upgrade fee to the PS5 if you got your PS4.
I'd make you buy a whole new disc.
So right there, Xbox is the winner of this generation for crossover because it's free no matter what.
Oh man.
And then on Thursday was PlayStation's Showcase. Oh damn! And they showed some games that everybody been wanting. The biggest one was God of War Ragnarok trailer and gameplay that came out, and it looks phenomenal. They just said it comes out next year. Some surprises: Spider-Man 2 and Venom's going to be in this game as a playable character also, and it looks like Kraven the Hunter is going to be one of the villains in there, and that don't come out to 2023. Also, Insomniac's working on a Wolverine game, and that was a big shock to everybody. Not sure when that's coming out yet. They just showed like a real quick teaser trailer with that. And
so let me ask you a question. With like the chip shortages and all that stuff that's like affecting Apple with the iPhones and all that, is this the reason why these games are getting pushed back because like they can't keep up with the demand for the new system, so they're just delaying the games until more people have the newer systems?
Some of them no, because these games are AAA games and they take like real long development times. So they just want to give people a sneak peek of what they're doing. Normally it takes like 2 to 3 years for these big AAA games to be made, especially single player ones. But the chip shortage, the only one that I heard of was Rockstar with GTA 6. Yeah, saying, like I said before, like they're holding out on GTA 6 until there's enough consoles in the households. So who knows with that? And they are
enough consoles for them.
Yeah, and they also said Sony, not officially, but stuff's coming out saying they will have a PlayStation 5 Pro that will come out in 2023, 2024 at $600 to $700, and it's going to be straight 8K gaming only on it. And there's only 2 TVs out that are 8K that I know of, so there's no point in buying that.
Well, I mean, technology-wise, you're talking 3-4 years down the road for that. So, like 2-3 years. So by that time, you figure
we'll have flying cars.
Well, no, but I mean, like you may have. Although I'm still waiting. Like the 4K stuff didn't catch up the way that I thought it would.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, that's a little insane. I don't know. Like visually, we see some stuff with 8K now that's shot, and it's just like I don't know if you could sit down there for 3 hours just playing in 8K. Like I don't know what that would do. Like throwing off perception. Like that's just yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm just satisfied with my 1080p. I mean, it's clear enough for me. I mean, it really is. And 2 more games that were shockingly coming out for the Sony brand: the remake of Knights of the Old Republic and the Alan Wake remastered. Because those were 2 Xbox exclusive games when the original Xbox came out. So Sony fans will actually get their hands on this one this time. Alan Wake comes out October 4th, and they didn't give no release date on Knights of the Old Republic yet.
Yeah, might have to cop that Knights of the Old Republic.
Even though I'm not into Star Wars anymore, that's a game.
Me either, but I watched it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I might have to go get that.
So, that's all I have for gaming.
All right, what do you guys got going on TV entertainment wise? I saw. Did you watch the Matrix Resurrections trailer?
No,
I was so
good.
confused. I didn't know what the hell was going on in there.
I mean, like, I watched it. I liked it. I'm definitely gonna go see it. You know, I'm gonna watch all 3 again. You know what I mean? Re-up, refresh. But it'll just be interesting to see how they pull that off. Because you know, I don't know what else you do story wise after the 3rd one. Like they kind of wrapped it all up in my eyes. But
yeah, I never actually saw the 3rd one. I saw the first 2, but I never like completed it.
Hey, go figure. You're not seeing a movie that's impactful for the culture.
That's impactful for the culture?
Hey, you'd be surprised Matrix was deep.
Honestly, can't remember shit born. Seen all 3.
Yeah.
Like number one.
I remember them. Confusing for me. That third one was very confusing. And this new one just looks more confusing.
I mean, the first one was a classic. But
Yes, I love the first one.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I had this week from movies and entertainment and all that.
I had a movie
Still
one.
haven't seen Shang-Chi. Big
Yeah.
box office smash. Comes on Disney Plus 45 days later. I think, although from everybody that I talked to that went and saw it, says you got to see it in the theater just due to the fight choreography and everything else, like to get that experience. But I think I might just wait till Disney Plus hits and I'll throw on the surround sound in the crib and just post up and watch it there.
Yeah.
Same here. Mm-hmm.
But still looking forward to seeing it.
The only movie thing I have is Halloween Kills when it comes out October 11th. I think it will be out in theaters and streaming on Peacock at the same time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay for it?
Nope.
Free?
Mm-hmm.
I seen the trailer yesterday. It looked real good.
Mm-hmm.
$3.99 is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody, anything else? Because we can get into the shits and giggles that we normally do if nobody got anything else for the intro. It was kind of a slow week, guys. I know TV, all the usual suspects are getting ready to start their seasons back up. Most of them start around the September 21st, 22nd, that week there. Some of them October 1st. But
I do got one quick thing. Kind of coming off of a One Gotta Go we played a few weeks ago about pizza chains. Eat This, Not That. They did a survey of every state's favorite pizza chain. Pennsylvania and 10 other states chose Papa John's as their most favorite pizza chain. And surprising,
College pizza.
The number one voted for 24 states was Little Caesars.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
on that COVID budget, Wow.
All right. Nobody got anything else? We can hop into it.
Let's
I'm
do
good.
it.
I'm good.
All right. You had the channel 2 on the new graphic, the old school channel 2.
I like that. It shows our age.
The kids now. Yeah, the only people our age in the graphic when they saw that got the reference there, but yeah, you younger kids have no idea what's going on there. All right, big week pro wrestling wise. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of news came out, a lot of stuff to get into, a lot of stuff to debate based off of debuts that happened, surprises, shocks and awe, everything from AEW All Out. So since the pay-per-view was Sunday night, let's tackle AEW first this week. Did you guys watch All Out? Everybody get caught up. Of course, the AEW non-mark up there. Jay didn't watch it. It was only the best pay-per-view of the year.
That's what they say every pay-per-view.
No, this legitimately was, and they don't say that about every pay-per-view AEW.
They do. I'm in the
No,
comments.
they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
They do.
No, this legit. This has been the best pay-per-view that I've watched all year long. I don't know how you guys feel. I know we're coming up to last quarter of the year. Not too many big time pay-per-views left from promotions. There are a couple to wind down the year here, but start to finish, bell to bell, between the wrestling that happened in the ring, the stories, the debuts, the shocks, the surprises. Hands down, the best pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll say that. I had issue with 3 matches though, but I will give it that.
What would you have issues with?
QT and Big Show.
That was definitely the bathroom break.
Yeah,
match.
that was awful. And for me, just because it happened a couple weeks ago, Jericho, MJF, and Christian and Omega. It just seems like I just saw those matches again, so it was like prisoner in a moment. Like I already saw this, so I'm uninterested in it.
I think both of those matches, even though you did just see them recently, they were completely different from the matches that they just put on.
The Christian Omega match. The Christian Omega match felt like the same exact match. You just got the different result until the end, like the stuff that happened at the end with everybody coming out.
Yeah.
It felt like the exact same match.
The match ending, I think, was expected. Considering Kenny just dropped the Impact title, so yeah, I agree that match kind of. And I think that's why when we did our prediction show, we were debating whether or not that was going to be the real main event or not, too.
Well, for me, that was more along the lines of do you put that on? Do you put the heavyweight championship match on last, or do you put on Punk last just because it was in Chicago? Mm-hmm. Other than that, for me, there was no debate as far as what should main event. Like, that's the only reason why I brought that up as far as booking and formatting the show itself. But I listened to a lot of stuff during the week. Busted Open's take, a lot of different shows. Obviously, seeing the timeline and the comments and everything else. But like, I don't know, the two are the only ones that I came across that had these types of takes on those two matches in particular. I don't know what else take wise you guys got for the rest of the show, but I didn't hear none of that from whether it was, Bully and them on Busted Open or, whatever else throughout the week that I've listened to say that they weren't into it just because they saw it a couple weeks ago.
I mean, AEW normally has different stuff all the time, and you just gave me two matches, one 2 weeks ago, one 3 weeks ago. But we're trying to be different here, but you gave me the same exact match. That's my personal opinion. But every other match on the card, except for those two, I enjoyed, minus the QT and Big Show.
So you harp on the E, taking off the women's battle royal. The average age was 36 and 35 if you add the pre-show or not. And six of the matches had a 40-year-old or older, 40 and up in each match.
For All Out?
Yeah. 6 of the matches featured a 40-year-old.
Featured a 40-year-old, but what was they had one 40-year-old in the match. What was the counter age? Like Punk's 42, but Darby's what?
Everybody was over 30 except for Britt, or everybody was close to 35 except for Britt and Statlander and Allen.
Darby's in his mid-30s?
I said Allen.
Yeah, no, he's in his 20s, early 20s, I think.
But no, Jason was saying that everybody is close to 35, minus Britt, Darby, and Statlander, who's under 30 somewhere.
I'm trying to understand.
Flip it.
No, I'm trying to understand. Like, what are you trying to get at here? Like,
I mean, but that's what you harp on about the E, about the age difference and pushing young talent. You had a match.
They had young talent throughout the card. I don't like.
They did.
Did they have
the young talent was on the pre-show, or it was Britt, Statlander, and Allen. Everybody else was damn near 36, and then a 40-year-old in each match.
So look at
you need to quit talking about 36 being old.
Yeah, that's not old wrestling wise either. But what do you okay,
but that's what you harp on. That's what everybody harps on the E about. There's countless times you pulled up the stats about the average age in a WWE pay-per-view and
everybody's 40 and above.
40?
Jay, what if you're saying that 30 in the 30s to 40s is old for you, like then no company's going to have young talent if you're saying 30 to 40 is old.
Oh, so now it's cool.
I didn't say it was cool. I'm trying to understand. Like if you're saying
you sit there and come at the WWE for this stuff.
But look at the talent that's in the 30s in AEW compared to the talent that's in the 30s in WWE. We're like, it's not even close.
What talent?
What do you mean what talent? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like if you're saying that 30 to 40 is old. That's what you're saying. They got it 30 to 40 is old.
I don't give you 30s. 35s is up there. And that was most of your damn card.
But majority of WWE pay-per-view is 40 plus.
No.
They don't even have people that are 35.
No. 40 plus, no.
Are you seriously? Do we have to run through the ages right now?
Go ahead.
Roman and Lesnar right there. That's 40 plus.
Who?
Right? Roman and Lesnar.
Roman's 40?
If he's not, he's probably close to it.
I don't think Roman's 40.
I thought the oldest person on the card was AJ. AJ and Finn.
You're like, I don't understand your point. Like you trying to say that they're not pushing young talent in AEW, and that's completely not the case just because of the lineup that was on this card because people are 35 and above.
But you're right, Jason. Roman's 36. You're right.
But you shit on WWE every time they do it.
I'm not shitting on WWE whenever they do it. There's no.
You bring up the stats, man. You quote Dave LaGreco. You bring up the tweets. Come on.
To make the point that other than Roman, like how many times are they featuring 40 plus people consistently?
Who?
WWE.
Edge?
I'm not understanding your argument here.
Edge?
Like you're trying to get me in an aha moment, but when you look at it, like 35 is not old in the wrestling business. So if you have the Young Bucks, if you have the Lucha Brothers, if you have, I don't know how old Omega is.
30s.
Him in
high 30s. 36.
So you have that like Christian, yes, Christian's older. He's in
40s.
He's 40. Punk is 40.
40s.
Big Show and QT, Big Show's in his 40s, but
that's a one-off.
That don't fucking matter. Yeah, that's a one-off.
40. QT's a high 30s.
Jericho's 50.
50.
Jericho's 50, but MJF is 24.
Okay.
Darby's in his 20s.
4.
Britt's about to be what, 30?
No, she's still in her 20s. Yeah.
Statlander. So
I named the 4.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm just
running. You're saying old, but look at who are you going to put young talent wise instead of the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers? Who are you going to put in that match?
Anybody.
So you're saying Santana and Ortiz are old because they're in their 30s? If they are, I don't even know. I don't even think they are. They may be right around the 30-year mark.
I have no clue.
This could be a research topic.
They're not that old.
To kind of pick out like what everybody's ages are.
Yeah, they're not that old.
You had Kingston and Miro. Those are what, mid-30s?
Yep. Both 36, I do believe.
Moxley and Kojima's old. Yeah.
He's 50.
Moxley's right around 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Suzuki come out, but Suzuki
doesn't count.
It's the same as so that don't count. The Battle Royale was littered with people.
They don't count battle. They don't count battle rolls in no stouts.
Who would you rather have seen on this card?
Young talent.
What they gave you.
Young talent. I see you want to push, right?
You act like the young talent's never featured. You're bringing up one pay-per-view.
I think we can go back.
And it still had any young talent on this pay-per-view is better than any young talent in WWE. MJF is better than any young talent in WWE. Darby's more over than any young talent in WWE.
We'll have to research that.
So there's young talent pushed on this card. I don't get what you're saying.
2 people.
What do you mean 2 people? I just read off 4 names to you in 9 matches.
MJF and
MJF, Allen, Britt, and Statlander.
I don't say Statlander. She wasn't pushed.
She was in a women's title match on the biggest pay-per-view of the year.
She'll be back at the bottom of the line.
I think she's
continuing a feud with them right now.
Ruby's 36.
I think Statlander was pushed before she got hurt.
And Ruby's been wrestling for 11 years. So like I still don't get what you're trying to say. They're not running out there Trish Stratus versus Lita while you have Britt Baker and Statlander sitting in the back.
But you just had Moxley versus the 50-year-old.
Right, which was
you're justifying it for one. You're justifying it for one, not the other.
Kojima. Would you rather watch Moxley and Kojima, or would you rather watch Goldberg and Lashley?
Goldberg and Lashley, you know I don't like
You're
Moxley.
fucking crazy.
You know I don't
You're
like
fucking crazy. Goldberg and Lashley.
You could have picked any other match.
You'd rather watch Moxley, and it's only because Moxley's in it. It's only because Moxley's in it, and you don't like Moxley. But if you're gonna say old versus old, Kojima at 50 is way better than Goldberg. Suzuki at 55 or whatever, how old he is, he's way better than Goldberg.
I'll still watch Goldberg and Lashley.
I don't like Moxley, but I will watch that before I watch another Goldberg fight. Any day.
Person for me.
Any day. Any day.
If you have Jericho, if you had Jericho and
here you go. You
I'd
see,
I'd rather watch that than Goldberg and Lashley.
You know I don't care about Jericho.
But they didn't have Jericho versus Kojima. They had Jericho versus the
MJF,
the best heel in the business at 24. You're trying to say that there was no young talent pushed on the card, and there was young talent pushed on the card.
4 people.
In prominent big-time matches.
4 people who's been in the limelight.
So what would you rather want on the card? In your eyes, to put young talent, to push young talent, what would you rather have on the card?
Different storylines. Who knows?
Oh, you don't like storylines, so stop.
You don't like storylines. Like, come on now.
But here you go, justifying it for one and then shitting on the other.
I'm not justifying it. I'm giving you counter to your point. You're saying there wasn't anybody pushed on the card. It was just an old card. But it wasn't an old card. It's old in your eyes because you're saying 35 is old. 35 is not old.
That's the age of the average wrestler in WWE.
35?
Close to it. They're not in there. Come on. That's the age. Average age.
Where'd you pull that from?
Huh?
Where'd you get that stat from?
Just looking.
I guarantee you do the average age in WWE, it's not 35.
What do you say it is?
It's gonna be up to at least 40.
You're a damn lie. Oh.
No, guarantee.
No.
Are you factoring
their whole main event?
So what?
Are you factoring NXT into that? Or are you taking them out and just saying main roster?
I'd take NXT out.
Your whole main event picture in WWE is 40 plus. All your big stars are 40 or 40 plus.
High 30s. High 30s.
Roman's the only one.
Seth isn't in his 30s.
Maybe McIntyre. I don't know how old McIntyre is. McIntyre might be right on that cusp.
Seth isn't in his 40s. The women aren't in their 40s.
The women aren't in their 40s.
No.
What women in AEW are in their 40s, Jay?
If you're averaging,
we're just
taking men now.
So if you're saying the average age in WWE is 35, the average age in AEW is going to be closer to at least 30.
But were they used?
They were used on the card. What do you mean they weren't used?
4 people.
Look at Summers.
We're just gonna go in a circle.
Because your point makes no sense. You're saying that nobody was pushed on the card, but if you look at the card, there was young talent pushed in prominent matches. You're not getting a 24-year-old on WWE wrestling in a big-time match on a pay-per-view.
Bianca
got squashed in 26 seconds.
She main event of WrestleMania.
How did that work out for her push? How did that work out for her push?
She's over.
26, she's not as over as Britt.
She's over. She was
not after getting squashed in 26 seconds. She's not. They killed everything she had built up for herself. Who's more over, Bianca or Thunder Rosa?
Bianca.
Of course you'd say Bianca. Because you're WWE. You're a WWE.
She's a household name. She's a household name.
She's a household name just because she's been on a WWE main roster for 1.5 to 2 years. That makes her a household name.
She's a household name.
I don't know if either one of them are a household name.
I'm not saying they're a household. Yeah. Neither one of them are household names.
I see little white girls want to be Bianca Belair. She's a household name.
Is that going to be the costume for girls for Halloween this year? long hair extension.
This dude doesn't even watch the pay. The dude that only watches wrestling for the matches didn't watch the pay-per-view that put on the best matches of the year.
I wasn't trying to find the links, man. I'll find one. I want to watch the cage match. I do want to watch.
Oh, it's not going to be any good because it's featuring
I think it'll be great.
Four guys that are in their mid-30s.
I think it'll be
any good. It's 4 old fogies pushing around.
I like the Lucha Brothers.
Fogies.
Listen, I'm not trying to hype it up by any means for you, but it did perform. So
I like the Lucha Brothers.
Well, how do you like the Lucha Brothers? They're 35. They're too old.
I don't hate old people. I don't hate old wrestlers. I don't hate.
I'm just gonna do the show like this.
That's you who comes in here with that take about old wrestlers. I don't hate old wrestlers. You just bring up that stat whenever WWE does it.
No, I didn't look at the age for the AEW card. So you're right, but you could be right as far as the age goes. But you're trying to say that there was no young talent on the card, and that's not true.
It's not.
That's not true. So, but AEW is just old now because you have Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson that are in their 30s. So that's just old, right?
No, it's not old. They're going to take up a lot of time away from a lot.
And they should take up a lot of time. They're 2 of the biggest names in pro wrestling. Why would they not take up a lot of time?
Oh, so we can do it now. If they're the biggest names in wrestling, we can do it now. It's going to take up a lot of
WWE
time.
wanted to use Adam Cole as a fucking manager. You wanted him to be a manager. You wanted to bring him up as a manager.
So could have been great.
You could argue Adam Cole is one of the top 5 wrestlers on the planet right now, and you wanted to use him as a manager for a guy who's been wrestling on main event for the last 6 weeks, who you brought up and didn't do shit with to begin with. But that would have been great because it's WWE and everything they do is fantastic.
Could have been. You never know.
So then why does Mick Foley come out and say WWE has a problem? Because that's not the destination where people want to go now.
That's his take.
So you're still trying to say that WWE is the place to be. That right everybody wants to aspire to be at WWE.
Right now, yes.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, dude.
I don't know.
You're out of your mind.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the type of wrestler you are.
That shift is completely changed in a matter of not even 3 years, 2 years. People don't want to be in WWE no more.
Okay.
I disagree.
Cole left.
Okay.
Cole left. Danielson left. on their own, not re-signing contracts. Dunn hasn't even re-signed his contract. Owen's contract is up in January, and guess where he's going to go? Not back to WWE.
But look how many people they had sign up for their recent development thing. You know, it's like they had a lot of people show up for that. So I think people are still going to want to go there because it's WWE. If you're a diehard,
they had gymnasts and former football players sign up.
If you're a diehard wrestler that actually wants to wrestle, I think AEW is the spot for you. I think that's where it's going to be the difference. But people that are WWE fans and just want to be in WWE, it's still going to be there. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
That wasn't my argument. I never said WWE was going anywhere.
No, I'm just saying like, for people that want to go there. You said people don't want to go to WWE. People don't want to go there. People still will want to go there.
If you have Mick Foley come out and say that wrestlers do not want to go to WWE anymore, they are not the best destination for wrestlers.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. But I think people are still going to want to go there. I think it depends on the type of wrestler that you are. I think if people are diehard, like a Daniel Bryan or an Adam Cole, they're going to want to go to AEW. But if you're somebody like a Big E that's more of a sports entertainer than wrestler.
But you can't say Daniel Bryan because he's already been there. He went through the system. He wanted to be in WWE.
He did.
He went through the system when there was no other alternative. There was no alternative.
But you can't name those people that's already been there. He just wants something different right now.
AEW in 2 years has made people not want to re-up and re-sign with WWE.
I honestly think Bryan would have left no matter what. I think he would have went to New Japan, or he would have probably went back to Ring of Honor.
Oh, I thought so too. Yeah, for sure.
I think he just wanted to get back to the wrestling that he wanted to do because he wasn't able to do it in WWE. And that's why these guys are going to leave. They're not getting able to do what they want to do, so they're going to leave to go somewhere else where they can do it.
I wonder if people like we're talking about this, do they just want WWE on their resume just like I did it? You know, like as a check off.
But that's not even the case anymore.
Yeah.
Some of them just go there for the money.
But even that's not drawing people in. Adam Cole allegedly turned down over $1 million plus per year to go to AEW.
What is that? Yeah. I mean, money's not going to speak. It's where you're happy at.
So the days of WWE just throwing out $1 million plus guarantees to people, that's not getting them to resign. Why? Because there's an alternative that is a better place for them to be at.
Whether they want to see it or not, there is competition there, and whether or not they want to acknowledge it, and they won't for a while, but.
This belief that WWE is fail proof and it's foolproof, and that they're just always going to attract the biggest names because they're WWE. Like, that narrative has changed in a 2-year period.
That did.
And I don't see how you can argue against that.
Is what that has changed, or still that people don't want to go to WWE?
That wrestlers don't want to go there.
I agree, but I still think more people want to be in the WWE. At the end of the day,
I don't think so.
I think if Vince and his yes group wasn't there, and say somebody like Shane or Hunter ran it, I think people might stay.
Yeah.
But as long as Vince and his yes crew is in there, people are not going to go.
Why would you go there based off of what they've done with anybody recently that they've brought in? Even people that didn't go from NXT to the main roster, people that just came back or were on the main roster. Look what they done with Johnny fucking Drip.
That's where he wants to be.
I mean, look at that Parker
if you're
Boudreaux.
looking
He
at
had
that,
his chance
why would they?
he had a couple of months ago where he could sign with WWE or AEW. He chose WWE.
Who?
Parker Boudreaux, the football player. He was courted by both of them, and he chose WWE.
How hard did AEW go after him?
I mean, we don't know how hard WWE even went after him.
Come on, Heyman was out there. Heyman was
Jim
out
Ross
there
was going after him too. Jim Ross was tweeting just as much as Heyman was about him.
But you're talking about a football player or a football player. Again, football player. And how many of those have been big time hits?
But that's going to be, we talked about this last week. That's going to be WWE's MO in the future. They're only going after those types of people.
Okay, so then that just makes my whole point that if you're a wrestler, you're not going to want to go with WWE. You just made my point right there about what you said.
I said the same point. I said the same point that wrestlers aren't going to go to WWE. So I said the same thing before. I didn't say anything different. I'm just saying.
So you can have Parker Boudreaux. You can have him and try to mold him and make him into a superstar. Do I think they'll be able to do it? Absolutely not. Because when's the last time they made a superstar?
Bianca Belair.
But that could.
Would Roman be one?
Again, Bianca Belair is not a superstar. She's good talent, but until she's a household name, she's not a superstar.
Trust me, she's a household name.
Would Roman be the last one?
I guess.
He is.
I don't know if he's necessarily a household name, but I think more people know him than.
I think he is household name. Because my mom, who don't even watch wrestling, knows who Roman Reigns is.
Like Cena made himself a household name, doing everything, going on talk shows all the time and doing stuff, and I think that's why people got to know Cena as a household name. Because wrestling wasn't there at that point.
Roman's a household name. Roman's a household name, and Donald, you just say your mom doesn't watch wrestling, know who Roman Reigns is. Roman Reigns has been on the main roster for 10 years.
He's been a household name for a good bit.
But you have 10 years. You have 10 years. Like it's. And look, Roman didn't get over until when? This past year. Why? Because Roman went in and said, I'm being a heel, I'm doing things this
But he was
way.
still a household name. Even if he wasn't over, he was still a household name.
He was a household. When was he a household name? Give me the year that Roman became a household name.
I can tell you ladies know who Roman Reigns was for the longest time. And that's going to be a household name if the ladies know you.
Okay, but not everybody is 6'4" and with the looks of a fucking supermodel.
Where you making exceptions?
I'm not making an exception.
Yeah, this household name with everyone.
You're trying to say that Roman Reigns has been a household name for years, and Roman Reigns has not been a household name.
He's been a household name.
If you throw Roman Reigns on a list of names and ask them to point out the household names 5, 6, 7 years ago, I guarantee you people aren't pointing to Roman Reigns.
They know who it was.
Absolutely not. Roman Reigns was not a household name like Stone Cold was back in the Attitude Era.
No.
Or Mankind back in the Attitude Era.
No, but he was a household name.
It's not a household name. If you nobody
you're saying at that level, he was still a household name. You want to compare him to Stone Cold? He's a household name.
Brock Lesnar.
He might not have the popularity of a Stone Cold, but he's a household name.
Brock Lesnar is a household name. To me, Roman Reigns is not on the same level as Brock Lesnar when it comes to name value.
Who do you think of when you think of Brock Lesnar?
Who do I think of?
Roman Reigns.
I think of Paul Heyman.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about, Roman Reigns? He's not even Brock's biggest rival. That's fucking Cena.
Or Taker.
Or Taker. Yeah, I would say
Taker.
Taker.
Taker, household name. Roman Reigns is not.
Okay. Put a poll out. Put a poll. Well, you got a bunch of wrestling fans.
Yeah. We'll have to do a Facebook poll or something.
Okay, we can move on to Monday.
We didn't even finish on Sunday because you brought up this stupid fucking topic from the guy that didn't even watch the pay-per-view.
30 minutes later.
And I don't think you really want to bring up Monday with the bullshit they did on Monday to just further my point that people don't want to be in WWE.
Didn't even watch it, so don't even know.
Okay, let's
Here, I'll tell you what happened. Oh, hey, Priest, Sheamus, and McIntyre wrestled in a triple threat match last week for the U.S. title. Priest won. Guess what happened? Oh, Sheamus faced McIntyre for the number one contender for oh, yes, that's right, the United States Championship. Fucking sense does that make? Why aren't you pushing Mansoor in that spot, Jay? Why aren't you pushing Ricochet in that spot, Jay? Why aren't you pushing Ali?
Mansoor's a tag team. Mansoor's a tag team.
Why aren't you pushing those young guys? Why aren't you putting Cedric Alexander in that spot, Jay?
He's in catering. He's out the door.
Why is he out the door?
Where's your young talent pushing on Monday Night Raw, Jay?
Raw really doesn't have young talent like that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Raw doesn't.
Where's the young talent push on SmackDown, Jay?
Bianca Belair. I'll keep on throwing the name out to y'all acknowledge her.
I'm not going to say anything wrong about Bianca. I like Bianca. I think she is the main female on SmackDown, but not a household name.
You keep saying that's a young talent. Where's the male young talent on SmackDown? I'm just asking. Where's the male young talent?
I'm going to have to look into the numbers.
Yeah, where's the young talent? Where's the young talent push on SmackDown? Dominic Mysterio.
You don't want it though.
Nobody wants that.
How old they are.
Nothing. No. You have 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week. WWE has 5 hours a week. And there's not one single young talent being pushed on 5 hours a week of television. Bianca Belair was in a contract signing last night. Oh, she caught a folder. Yay, that's how we're pushing her.
You just gonna shit on the product regardless.
No. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're gonna do the same for AEW.
But tell me I'm wrong.
I don't shit on AEW.
Tell me I'm wrong, Jay.
We talked about the past half hour then.
I'm just calling the double standard. I'm just pointing out what y'all point out on other stuff.
Double standard. Who was in the main event of Rampage last night, Jay?
I don't know.
Max Caster and Brian Pillman Jr. Guess what both of those guys are?
Main event.
Both of them are under 30.
Main event.
Yeah.
Both of them are under 30.
WWE Heat. Showdown.
It's like Rampage is like Saturday night's main event. They put the main event on
first. Don't throw Rampage out there.
Well, come on now. Do we really want to run through the people that have main evented Dynamite that are under 30? Because Darby's done it 4 times. When's the last time WWE had a young talent main event or Raw or SmackDown, Jay?
Who knows? But you just name one person. Right?
You don't even have one. You don't even have one. I gave you one that was 4 times, and that's not even. I could go back through and find out more. MJF's main evented Dynamite.
I'll give you Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy's main evented Dynamite.
And
I'll give you who's the other one?
Britt's main evented Dynamite.
And MJF, the same people that were on the pay-per-view.
Oh, but they're not pushing young talent. They're not pushing young talent, but yet they've main evented their flagship show multiple times.
The same.
And they've been on pay-per-views multiple times.
The same 4 people, but you can't acknowledge Bianca Belair once. The same 4 people.
Bianca, you want to put Bianca in there just because she main evented WrestleMania.
And she's under 24, or she's 24.
One.
Well, I'll find another. I'll search. I'll do the research. I'm gonna do my homework. That's my task. And to watch AEW All Out.
No, don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. Don't even watch it.
So a week later.
Don't even watch it. Yeah, don't search for individual matches. Don't even watch it. I don't even.
So All Out. What were your biggest takeaways? And would the returns have not overshadowed Hangman? Like I mentioned. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you who won the main event because it was overshadowed by my timeline of Punk, Bryan, and Cole. Okay, on the sports.
All Out gave you the surprising, shocking awe of Minoru Suzuki showing up on a US pay-per-view. You had Ruby Soho debut. You had the debut of Adam Cole and the Swerve joining the Elite, and then you had Bryan Danielson come out,
and all that upstage your main event.
So Brock Lesnar returned in an upstage the main event of Roman and Cena.
It did. But that was my question last week. Would all of this not upstage the main event?
It's not upstaging it because you're still getting all of the individuals that were in that main event. You're still having them interact and feud with each other.
Upstage the main. So how is that different than right?
Christian and Omega is classic wrestling 101 psychology and storytelling, which you're not going to like. So don't even bother watching that match.
Yeah. I don't care for a Christian match.
And Christian is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 minds in the business. And that's coming from every top guy that has ever talked about people in the business. But you won't watch his match because you don't.
I'll watch it. I'll sit there. It'll be like an Orton match used to be. That's all.
Who's more of a household name, Randy Orton or Roman Reigns?
I don't know.
Randy Orton.
I think Orton for sure.
Possibly.
And he's been on the main roster for 20 years. He's been on TV for 20 years.
Another homegrown.
So he's not a household name after being on TV every week for 20 years.
Another guy they turned into a wrestler.
You're gonna use arguably the greatest second generation wrestler of all time.
Who didn't want to wrestle?
He's talked about that himself.
There you go. Well,
he's the one that went to his dad and said, "Hey, I want to wrestle. Get me into wrestling." But he didn't want to wrestle.
Nah, they said, "I think you should do this."
No, Randy Orton himself has spoke on that. He talked about it on Austin's Broken Skull session.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a diehard? From the moment he was 5 years old, he knew he wanted to wrestle. No, but he's the one that made the decision. I want to wrestle. Make a phone call and get me in the door.
So what about these people?
That's how he got in the door.
What about these people WWE's looking for? They don't want to wrestle? They don't want to get their foot in the door?
Who have they signed that you think will become Randy Orton, Jay?
It doesn't matter. You're saying they're not signing people that don't want to wrestle. Orton didn't love the business when he got in.
Why couldn't they make Adam Cole a star like they made Randy Orton a star? If Adam Cole's already a known name as far as wrestling goes, in the world of wrestling, Adam Cole's a household name. So why can't you make a household name in the world of wrestling into a star?
It's hard to make him believable on the main roster. size-wise.
So
Is that really?
if I have,
is it because people up and higher up think that size is an issue?
Because the people higher up think size is an issue.
But
I have Darren Sproles as my running back from the New Orleans Saints and Philadelphia Eagles, and he's 5'7", and he played 14 years in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like they found a way to make that work, right? Like why? Like I mean, why is it always the fact that you're not a certain height, so we're not going to even attempt to make you a star? They didn't make Bryan Danielson a star. Bryan Danielson made himself a star. He got over himself.
He's bigger than Cole.
And I'm not disagreeing with you there, but I'm saying they didn't make him a star.
But that's what I'm telling you. They're trying to make stuff look believable.
Was Sean so small?
No, Sean's not small to me.
But Sean's
back then.
Cole is like 2 inches bigger than Cheeseburger.
What I was yeah.
Cole is like a little bit thicker than Leon Ruff.
But back in Sean's prime in the 90s, he was small compared to everybody else. They made it work.
They had to. It wasn't that they really chose to push on. They had to. They had nobody.
Like, I don't get why this notion of you have to be 6'5", 225, it just automatically makes you a star in wrestling.
I don't think it's that.
But that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they're saying.
That's always been his formula, though. Like, that hasn't changed in 30 some years.
So, like, I don't like. To me, if you're WWE right now, your main issues are your creative stinks.
Agreed.
You're not going after people that have wrestled previously.
I think it's known names, established names. I don't think they're just straight cutting off the indie talent. Because do they still have partnerships with those lower companies, or is those all?
They bought them all.
They bought them all out, and they didn't retain any of the talent. That's what I'm saying. Like Evolve and all that. Like they bought them out. Like those libraries will be on the network. Like they bought them out for content for the network, but they didn't buy them out to do anything with the individuals that were there.
I don't think they're legit cutting out all indie wrestlers. I think they're just not going to sign established names off the indies.
If you're looking at WWE right now, what has you excited for them over the next 6 months? What makes you excited to tune in to WWE for, say, the next 6 months?
The women's division, always, no matter what, I'll watch. Lashley still and Roman.
What have they done with the women's division lately that has made you get excited?
I watch all women's wrestling.
Have the women performed well in the matches? Yes. But what have they done with the division to get you excited? This is where the disconnect is between me and you, because to you, it's just they go out there, Bianca and Sasha tear the house down and have a great match. That is fine for you. Charlotte and Rhea can go out there and have a great match on Raw. That is fine for you. But that's not going to get me excited. You haven't furthered the division just because two people go out there and have a great match. That's more the two people just having a great match and able to work in the ring.
Becky's return doesn't interest you?
No, Becky's return doesn't interest me because
Her return did
It's
nothing
not
for the
going to work.
division. Her return did nothing for the division with me. With Becky and Bianca, that's a good story. But what about all the other women on the roster, SmackDown roster? I'm not getting nothing from them.
They're not on the show. They're not.
Then that doesn't. But then that doesn't help the division. You're just only focused on two people,
and that's all they ever focus on.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help the division.
You said what has you interested in turning in for the next 6 months? That
just seeing them two wrestle.
This storyline, and then whatever comes after that.
Okay, what's the story? What's the story that they're telling with Becky and Bianca? Because the story that I got from Becky and Bianca the last 3 weeks is, hey, you beat me at SummerSlam. I want to have a match. No, walk away. Hey, the next week, you beat me in the wrestling match at SummerSlam. I want a rematch. No, okay. Backstage segment. Guess what? You're gonna have a match at Extreme Rules with Bianca Belair. Contract signing.
Mm-hmm.
So what story did they tell that gets you excited to want to watch the match?
Just Becky and Bianca being in a match.
But you have to build something week to week or every couple weeks.
In Jay's eyes, you don't.
Again,
in Jay's eyes, you don't. In Jay's eyes, you can just announce the card and watch the matches and be fine.
True.
But in pro wrestling, that's not.
But this guy didn't watch at all.
Wrestling is stories.
I had plans to. I wasn't gonna pay to watch it, but I had plans to. I wouldn't pay to watch half the stuff WWE put on, but it's on Peacock for free.
All Out's the first company outside of WWE since WCW was around that did over 200,000 buys in pay-per-views.
That's great.
And will probably be a higher number once all numbers come in.
But they're not competition, and they're not changing. You know, they're not shifting momentum. They're not doing any of those things in your eyes. For the company that's been around 2 years,
I never said they weren't competition.
That was me.
I don't hate AEW.
Pay-per-view buys are good. I mean, that's
I don't hate
that's
AEW.
solidly competition there.
You play the character very well, then.
I do.
SmackDown, like look at SmackDown last night. They loaded SmackDown last night, right?
Mm.
You brought Brock in, and they only did it because they were in the Garden.
Oh yeah.
So you brought Brock in face to face with Roman. You had Edge versus Seth, and you had the Usos versus Street Profits. Those were your 3 matches on SmackDown.
You had a 10-man tag too.
Jobbers.
Teddy Longback.
Jobbers. you don't count that. And what Trae Young was the attraction in that match.
Yeah.
A non-wrestler.
Well, it played perfect for the Garden.
A non-wrestler.
But it played perfect for the Garden. It was a perfect heel move.
A non-wrestler.
But what's the problem? What's the problem with having the 4 matches? Was there anything wrong with them? What was the issue? What was the bad thing about SmackDown?
The issue is that they loaded it up 1 week just because it was the Garden show.
Yeah.
And then next week it'll be back to the same old bullshit, just like it has been since SummerSlam. SmackDown to me has not.
Isn't that no different than putting CM Punk in Chicago Stadium? To get them to fill seats? It's no different.
But AEW doesn't do that for one time and then not do it again for 7 months until they go back to the same big venue again.
Do what? Load the car? Like SmackDown has been great.
SmackDown hasn't been great since SummerSlam. SmackDown hasn't been great. You take away Roman's storyline. What else is there?
The women's title match.
but the story hasn't done anything for it.
Seth and
Becky and I just gave you the story for Becky and Bianca. That's going to make you want to tune in and watch their match at Extreme Rules.
Yes, Seth and Edge didn't make you want to tune in.
Seth and Edge pissed me off because they used Cesaro as the fucking Ponty. They used Cesaro as the pawn, and to me, that just doesn't need to happen.
And no, and much like Donald's take earlier, Seth and Edge didn't draw me in because I didn't watch it because I saw that match already 2 weeks ago. I saw it on a pay-per-view. What do I need to tune into SmackDown to watch it for?
Seth and Edge wrestle at Extreme Rules. That's what, 3 pay-per-views in a row? Or 2 pay-per-views in a row?
2 pay-per-views in a row in the SmackDown episode.
I don't think they will.
That's going to be the Extreme Rules match. They carted Edge off last night in the stretcher. He's going to come back, and that's going to be the match at Extreme Rules. They'll have a concerto match.
A what?
A stretcher match.
It's either going to be a stretcher or a concerto match.
They should get a stipulation match.
That's Extreme Rules. That's
Every match is going to be a stipulation match.
Oh, the big thing last night, SmackDown. Oh, we got the Demon.
Who's going to lose?
Yeah.
Because Demon normally comes out and Demon is unbeatable. Every time you bring it out, he's unbeatable, but he's going to lose.
And Finn has said, I don't even want to do the character anymore. But you bring him back on the main roster for 3 weeks and he's doing the Demon again.
Because it's not his choice.
If you would get no, it doesn't.
But just because he's gonna lose.
Yeah, you're killing the gimmick.
Well, if he doesn't want to do it, kill the gimmick.
But it's not going to make me tune in for the match because I already know what's going to happen. If you would give me the Finn that
you thought Christian was going to beat Omega. You thought MJF was going to beat Jericho.
I said when we did our prediction show that they had me biting on the MJF actually doing it, and the way Jericho walked out and got in the ring and his facials and the emotion he was giving off as he was walking around the ring before the match started, it absolutely made you think MJF could win that match, and that be the last match of Jericho.
Still real to you.
When you have people
to defend AEW, you will find a way.
It's not a defense. It's just facts. If you look at the way Jericho was acting in that match and how he was selling it and the emotions he was giving off to the crowd and everything else, if you're looking at that, you can absolutely think, oh, shit, they might actually do it and Jericho not wrestle anymore. And I backed it up on the prediction show saying, hey, this is pro wrestling. A retirement is never really a retirement.
And they did, but they pulled it back.
They sold me on the fact that it could actually happen. Last night, Finn Balor is not selling me that he can beat Roman Reigns as the Demon.
But Christian sold you he can beat Omega for the AEW title.
No, he didn't.
But you watched.
But at least they put a little doubt in your mind from Rampage. Not saying that you thought Christian was going to win, but they at least put a little doubt in there.
Hey, you never noted that bringing a demon.
If you take away the podcasting, I've been watching wrestling for 30 plus years lens. Like if you take away that and you just have me look at it from what they presented, Chris is right. They gave you doubt that he could actually beat Omega for the AEW title because he beat him for the Impact title. Now, us, because of how much we watch it and invest it and look at it and dissect it and talk about it, there was no way in hell he was beating Omega. Yeah. So like, that's what I'm like. That's the difference to me. There's nothing on WWE right now besides Roman that gets me hooked like that.
But this goes back to my point that I've talked about a few times. We're not WWE's audience anymore. They're not trying to entertain us.
But if you look at their demographic, a lot of their demographic, even though they're not programming for us, is like 45 and plus. Like they have the most viewership of anybody. I think it's 45 and above or 50 and above. Because if you know what I mean,
is that both shows or is that just SmackDown? Because I'm wondering if that's because they're on broadcast TV.
I'm not sure of that, but that goes to Jay's point in the fact that WWE is always going to be there because that audience is built in. So you hook me at 6, great. When I'm 50, if I haven't fallen out in love with pro wrestling, like I've been watching wrestling since I was 3. I'm always going to watch wrestling. Doesn't matter what it is. Like I'm just always going to watch it.
But it's still as a kids too.
Right, but AEW has made a conscious effort since they've started that they're looking to book strictly for that 18 to 49 demographic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look in the crowd and you look at like how many young kids do you see painted up as Darby Allin? Even though they're not booking for,
I don't see many. I did see a few when we went.
There's always a couple dressed as Orange Cassidy too.
Yeah, Orange is another.
But you don't see as many as you see in the WWE. Front row is littered with kids.
Yeah, because
they're specifically targeting that. But what I'm saying is that AEW is not targeting that, but they're still getting it. So when you're still getting them hooked that young and you're not even targeting them, that's only going to be more beneficial to your company because you're still getting the main demographic that you're going after. It's like Bully says, like ECW was cool back in the day for our age group because it was
different.
What we wanted to see. It was different. It was real. It was that's what excited people our age back then. AEW is the same way. Which why I think you see the spike in the 18 to 49 demo that you've been getting. Because it's not that 6-year-old to 11-year-old boy or girl that is going to sell all the foam fingers and everything else. Like the machine's the machine, right? We get that. But if you're taking out a huge chunk of people, and the ones that are in that age
group, the middle demographic,
yeah, the ones that are still watching. The ones that are still watching WWE that are that age are the ones that are just gonna love pro wrestling and watch it regardless.
And then the things is the half that hates WWE regardless, like the indie fans.
If you're okay. I'll throw out this question. If you're which company would attract you more to get you flipped? So like if you're a WWE fan, are you more likely to flip to watch AEW? Or if you're an AEW fan, are you more likely to flip and watch WWE?
At my age now?
You can go with your age now.
At my age now, I would flip from, if I was an AEW fan, I'd flip to WWE. My age now. Younger, I would probably prefer AEW.
Chris,
just because they had an edge and all that stuff. Now at this age, I'm over it. I'm over all the extreme. I'm over all the middle fingers, the shits. I'm pretty much Disney and Pixar over here, man.
Are we talking both products as they are now for any age? Like for
any age, both products as they are now for any age.
Exactly what it's doing right now, flipping from WWE to AEW for me, either at any age.
Any age, yeah.
That would be my choice too. WWE to AEW because I'm over the WWE stuff. Yeah. I've been over it for a while.
But me and Donald have talked before. Like Donald took a long break from WWE. I took some break from WWE in the past. I mean, have you guys ever like stopped watching WWE for any long term?
long point of time. No,
We'll say at least a year. Have you ever stopped for like a year?
No, there was a point in time where I wasn't watching pay-per-views consistently just because I wasn't shelling out
Yeah,
the
we
money.
don't even have to say pay-per-view. We'll just say TV.
Yeah.
No, TV wise, there was never a point in time where I took like a year-long break from wrestling.
Okay.
I would have to say if it was, I didn't have cable at the time. But yeah, I've been pretty much watching wrestling ever since.
Like Donald was later. I was younger. Like I stopped watching wrestling like mid-90s. Like, and it wasn't until I think right around WrestleMania 12. Like I was probably from WrestleMania 9 to 12. I didn't really watch a whole lot of WWE. But like around then I started watching it again a little bit more, and then of course WCW and ECW really got me back into it.
I just think that like, and this isn't meant to constantly pit one company against the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I legitimately watch both, although it's getting harder and harder to actually tune in and watch WWE. I like the way things are with NXT, and you know, it was Bruce and Vince are going to produce it, and we shit on that because it's like, why are you killing it? But then the news that Hunter, you know, came out with Hunter having his procedure and surgery, and hope everything he's done is okay. So, like, how much of that is him being on the shelf, you know, getting himself right health wise? But to counter that, it's like, well, you have Road Dogg and Shawn there, and Regal, and you know, Matt Bloom. Like, you mean to tell me those guys can't produce? Road Dogg was the head producer on SmackDown for how many years?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me those guys can't produce the show? Like, why do you still have to come in and take over the show?
True. Very true.
Yeah, we'll see what this Tuesday brings. I'm interested to watching to see what they do, if it is different or what they do. But
Tuesday,
I really have my doubts going into
Tuesday
it.
Tuesday will be different right off the bat. Obviously, the presentation and the look is going to be different. We're not going to get the true turnover as far as what they're doing with it for a while. But my thing with that is how unhappy is that going to make USA? They're giving you all this money to put on 2 hours of solid programming, and if you're changing it and making it strictly developmental, and you're going to lose that audience. Like, there's a ton of people that love NXT more than they love WWE because of what NXT was. And that, I mean, to me, NXT was the most exciting out of the three shows for a couple years there.
Yeah,
I was more excited. I was more excited to watch takeovers and weekly NXTs than I was Raw and SmackDowns.
Absolutely,
and even major pay-per-views. I was more excited for takeovers than I was. I mean, Christ, they had that
takeover overshadow the next night's pay-per-view.
Always,
even over, and you're talking overshadowing WrestleMania, SummerSlam, like your big pay-per-views. They were overshadowing, not just the every month ones. So, like, to me, it's like if you're taking that fan base, that's your hardcore smart mark fan base, and you're shitting on them. So what? Now they're gonna do what? They're gonna go over to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So you're losing another chunk of your audience.
It's definitely a possibility. Definitely.
You can only insult somebody so many times before they're just like, all right, fuck you, I'm done.
Vince said it in 97 when he started the Attitude Era. We don't feel like insulting your intelligence anymore. Well,
and I think that was the reason why I stopped watching for my 6 years. Because I stopped watching 6 years, and I just got tired of the same stuff over and over during the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I kept up on the WrestleManias, except for 2 of them. And then I had to ask Jason, like, what's going on in the story, because I didn't know. I stopped watching everything together. And what brought me back in fully was when The Rock came back to host, that WrestleMania. So I had no other choice but to watch them, because I wasn't involved with like TNA at the time or anything like that. But when NXT started their run and I was watching that, I was like, oh, wow, I'm starting to like this type of wrestling more. Then that's when I started moving more towards the indies than WWE. So it started flipping for me there.
And
Did a legend bring you back?
And NXT was nice because at the time it was only an hour.
This is before burying all the young talent. So for me now, it's like I'm going through the same process again. It's like it's the same stuff over and over, and I'm getting more out of what AEW is giving me. What the indie scene is giving me, what New Japan basically was giving me.
And then there was a time there that TNA was, and not Impact, but actual TNA, that I was a bigger fan and watched TNA more than I did WWE.
Mm-hmm. Their Knockouts division.
Women's division.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff that Impact's doing now that I'm more excited about than WWE over the course of the next 6 months. And that's Impact. Like,
I'm just looking forward to the Rumble in WWE, to be truthful.
In February.
Yeah, I mean that's bad, but yeah, it is. It's just the Rumble.
But even that's starting to turn for me, because look what they've done the last couple of years with building towards Mania after the people that have won the Rumble.
Yeah, because they had too many pay-per-views in between.
Yeah.
And maybe this is just me being an older wrestling fan, and I remember how it was whenever you only had 4 to 6 pay-per-views a year, which is another reason why I think I like AEW more, because you're not getting a pay-per-view every single month or every single 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Which again, Jay, this hurts WWE from my perspective because you can't tell stories. So you have SummerSlam and you have Extreme Rules.
So you're not counting their specials?
4 weeks later.
You don't count their specials?
What, like, well, the specials coming out of the pandemic when they went back on the road, I chalked that up just to them being back on the road, and they wanted to give, like, they did it for a purpose to have people get drawn into the building and everything else.
No, but those are like mainstays. I think they added the February one this year, or the St. Patrick's Day one this year. But like your Fighter Fest and your Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah.
Fighter
are mainstays.
Fest. Well, one of those two they do charity stuff with, and I can't remember which one it is.
Fight for the Fallen.
So that's strictly like they take proceeds and everything else, shirts, merch, like that's for a charity each year. So I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Being there, like the Fighter Fest thing, it changed from what I initially thought it was, because they partnered with the gaming and then they didn't go back to that. So I thought that was going to
change that too.
And that, so I mean, the outlook on that one may be different as well, because to me that was more of a crossover, cross promotion between gaming and wrestling that they were looking to build on because of how much gaming is involved with their top guys that are in, quote unquote management positions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the look on that,
with the video game coming out, that could change that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like if you're gonna give me like AEW now, we have the four pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Quote 4 main pay-per-views. You have All Out, Full Gear, Revolution, and Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
Right?
But they'll do the occasional one, like last year in November they did Winter is Coming whenever Kenny won the title.
Well, so that goes into the quarterly specials that Tony Khan said they're going to do, which will be on TNT. So you have 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 pay-per-views, 4 quarterly specials. So you have 8 shows that you can build storylines and draw to for out of the year. WWE still running in what?
12.
More than 12. Right?
I'm just saying 12 for like the months and then anything in between.
So
like right now it looks like Crown Jewel will be the October event, where usually that was an additional event on top of.
Do you count those?
I do because they push.
I do because they push it and you go and they it's pay per view. So
we might not enjoy them, but yeah, they push it as an event
and make money.
But is it like? I mean, does it really tie in the storyline?
Yeah,
because they do it on Raw and all that stuff.
They've had title changes.
I mean, look at this year. The rumor is they're going to run the Queen of the Ring tournament to finish up and crown the winner at Crown Jewel. Now, whether or not those plans actually hold true, but that's what initially has come out rumor wise. So, like, to me, yeah, you're focusing on that as being a big time event. If you're doing something like that you're going to pay off with the winner of the tournament being at Crown Jewel.
See, I've yet to watch one of those shows.
Again, honestly, you're not missing anything.
I've never watched one of them either, and they're not worth it.
You're not missing
I've
anything.
watched them; they're terrible. Everyone I've ever watched is terrible.
But it's still a big time show. It's just
not here.
But I'm sure the people that are there live are enjoying it because they don't get to see that, in person very often.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But again, you only did it because of the bag. Right? Like you're doing that strictly for the money, and people see that, and people have called them out on that since they announced the first one.
We ready to drink?
So, yeah, because this segment went no way that I was expecting it to go to. We didn't get into none of the shit I wanted to get into. I didn't ask any of the questions I wanted to ask, and we're an hour and a half into the fucking podcast. Thank you, Jay.
We like these kind of shows.
All right, let's do it.
Chug, 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 chug.
This week's Drink of the Week segment is brought to you by Death by Jason. We're doing Death by Flapjack this week. and it's brought to you by Death by Jason.
So my one question.
I'm going to do an hour and a half discussion.
So this week we're doing Death by Flapjack. Chris, this was your pick. This is by Oskar Blues Brewery. 6.5% alcohol. It's an ale with maple syrup, vanilla, lemon peel, nutmeg, lactose, and natural flavor.
This was recommended by one of our listeners, Jared. So we'll see what we think of this.
Shout out, Jared. Hey, any of you guys out there listening, if there's any beers out there you want us to review on the show, or any mixed drinks, any liquor, any of that, email the show, hit us up on social media, let us know. We'll get it on the podcast. We'll review it. Don't hate us if we shit on it, but we will take any suggestions.
Yeah. Hopefully we try to find it too.
Jared, hold off on that shout out, because this my take is the be all end all.
I don't know if Crystal Light's going to go with maple syrup on this one, Jason.
Hey, my man.
I'm okay with this.
It tastes like all those other beers, but not.
So this is similar to the blueberry. Why can't I think of it right now?
I know that one.
Is that a blueberry maple stout? Is that what that was?
Yeah, the blueberry. Yeah, but it had the pancake or the French toast or whatever it was. But it tastes similar to that. I enjoyed that one a little bit more than this. This is really good though.
Yeah,
this is good.
What kind of beer is this?
It just says an ale. So
okay,
it's not a stout.
It tastes like a stout, but in the ale.
Yeah, get more carbonation out of it, like for the ale.
It's smoother.
Yeah.
Hey, my man, you did it.
There's none of these.
You like the sweetness, I'm sure, Jason, right? Because I think the maple's really hitting for me.
I'm not getting into it. I'm eating words, man. The sweetness is all caramel.
I mean, the maple and vanilla in this one is definitely more than the Panther Club we had last week.
Yeah, it's really
the Founders one. It's stronger, but again, that was a bourbon barrel aged beer, so it's
different method.
It's not going to come through as much as it does in this. I'm not really getting the lemon. I thought that I saw a nutmeg, and I thought that would come through a little bit more. You see nutmeg a lot, in your pumpkin beers and some of the Christmas ales that we drink.
Kids coming in, Donald?
Huh?
The kids coming in?
No. I'm watching this game.
God damn it!
I'm cool with this.
I do. I enjoy this. I do.
Yeah,
It looks a lot darker for it being an ale too.
that's true.
It's like how you had it in the glass. Wasn't expecting it to look
It
that
looks
dark.
like a stout.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I like that it has the flavor of a stout, but the carbonation of an ale. So it's not as heavy as what a stout would normally be. I like the sweetness in it. I think the flavors come through pretty good. I'm gonna go 4.
All right, Donald, what do you got?
Yeah, the maple and the vanilla is really strong on this, but I can mess with this a lot. I'll give it 3.5. I like this a lot.
Everything Chris said minus the flavor. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can drink this again. I can legit drink this again.
And you have a couple of these, and you're gonna feel pretty good too.
Yeah, 6.5%. I'll go 3.75 for me on this. Not quite a 4, not quite a 3.5. So split the difference. Yeah. So all right, good recommendation there. Solid 1 for 1 by a listener. We appreciate it. Good pick up there. And as always, we ask that you raise your bottles, cans, red and blue solo cups, brown paper bags, shot glasses, and to good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas. But the best ships are friendships, and friends will always be, except for Jason after this show. All right, this weekend in sports, everybody, we're back at it again. Football was in full swing. We had a full college slate last weekend. Not too many good games. Notre Dame, Florida State was a really good game Sunday night, although I missed it because I was watching the pay-per-view. Other than that, I'd say UCLA and LSU was probably the second best game. Alabama is just a fucking machine, dude. Like, it's insane. Like,
yeah, they are.
People were saying the Hurricanes should change the name to Tropical Storms now because of the ass whooping they got last weekend.
That's funny. And people were saying the U is back. Ooh, the U ain't back.
No. So yeah, back at it again. I haven't looked at the schedule this week. I did notice, as you can tell from my shirt and Donald's shirt, Panthers are playing the Vols this week.
Donald, what's going on?
The game is 7-0 right now, Tennessee. And Tennessee's about to kick a field goal. Pitt haven't crossed the 40-yard line yet. They're 40-yard line.
That's typical Pitt.
Yeah.
And they were favored. They were favored going into this game.
Mm-hmm. It's 10-0 now. But Tennessee missed like 4 bombs, like 40-yard bombs. That's why I was going crazy.
Narduzzi needs to be out the door. Like, this isn't ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
A shame. So yeah, college is on into effect. So I'll have the games on throughout the day here. NFL kicks off. We have full NFL schedule tomorrow. We had the Buccaneers and the Cowboys play Thursday night. I stayed up and watched that game. Hell of an opening game to get the season started. Fucking Tom Brady's going to play until he's 65. Like, there's no end in sight for this dude. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. But you can't, like, as much I've hated Brady my entire life that he's been playing in the NFL.
Yes. Yes.
Now that he's with Tampa Bay and he's doing it down there, I appreciate him for what he is. And this is what I guess this is what people in the NBA are like with LeBron. Like, I've always appreciated LeBron since he's been in the league, but I'm just now starting to appreciate Brady and actually, just the greatness that is out there. It's insane what he does. Whether he has a bunch of skilled players, whether he doesn't, he's that dude. And I think he tweeted out or said, I'm not going after Montana's GOAT. I'm going after Jordan's GOAT. And, he has a strong argument to be considered, better than Jordan is, greatest athlete.
To the Jordan fan up there in the quarter, what'd you say about that?
No.
Saying he already has one more championship than Mike.
Nah. Jordan got
What
there
is-
and got it done.
With a different team too.
Look, I'm a Drew Bledsoe fan.
Oh, Jesus
I will never,
Christ.
never like Tom Brady.
That you're a Bledsoe fan?
Ever like Tom Brady.
Who likes Drew
Who's such a-
Bledsoe?
You really like Bledsoe?
You're
I
the
like
only
Rick
Drew
Meyer.
Bledsoe fan I've ever heard of in my life.
I never knew that.
I like
For how
Drew
long I knew you from birth, I never knew that. What?
That just goes to show you don't trust that mother bleeper, Jay.
What?
No, don't trust him.
What? What?
I was a Drew Bledsoe fan.
Finding out family secrets on the Dumb Marks podcast.
Is that a Patriots
Wow.
fan? No, but I like Drew Bledsoe.
Wow. My mind is blown, boy.
All right. With all that being said, let's get into it. Let's break down our division winners here. Let's go NFC side of the bracket first, and let's go NFC West around the horn. Who you got? Arizona, San Fran, Seattle, or the Rams? Who you got?
I'll even interject here. I didn't have any time to do any research lately, so you guys go.
You don't watch football, just like Donald don't watch comedy movies. It doesn't matter.
I got the 49ers in the division. I think they're going to bounce back after all their injuries they had last year.
Toss up for me between 49ers and the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Niners.
I don't think Seattle's defense is good enough. Will they be a little bit better than last year? I don't know. They were kind of putrid last year. San Fran, with that, if they stay healthy, they got a shot as well. I'm gonna go with the Rams here. I think Stafford coming in is a huge upgrade over Goff, and that defense, is a top 5 defense. So, you're getting you're replacing a game manager with a guy that doesn't get enough credit for how good he really is at the quarterback position because he played in Detroit his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with the Rams.
And for the NFC West, I got the Seahawks and the Rams in the wild card. So just want to throw that out there.
Who's starting for 49ers?
It's
Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we'll see. I don't expect Garoppolo to be the quarterback, come week 16, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, so that's the NFC West. Let's go to the NFC least, which is the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Washington football team. I almost said something that can't be said on air, and the Giants. So who you got this one?
I have the Cowboys in this. It hurts to say that, but I do.
I was
Hey, Dak.
Go ahead.
The offense, people were shitting on Zeke and the Cowboys for not running the ball, but you're not going to find many teams that can run the ball on Tampa Bay. Like that front is insane with Sue and Vita Vea and everything else. Like, good luck, running against them. Weapons are insane. If everybody stays healthy, the way Kellen Moore called that game on Thursday night, and Dak, for missing all that time with the ankle and then not preseason with the labrum injury and the shoulder and that, and he comes out and throws the ball 58 times and looks the way he does. That's the shame. That's the shame about playing Brady, right? Dak threw for 400 yards, had over 70% completion percentage, and nobody remembers it being
because Brady did
best games by a quarterback because of fucking Tom Brady, right? But again, defense did force 4 turnovers and everything else. They look good. I don't know if I see them winning the division though. I think I'm going to go with the Washington football team as a shocker here. I think adding Fitzpatrick, will stabilize them. They'll get better quarterback play than they did last year, and that defense to me is
young and good.
That front 7 they have is ridiculous. And Chase Young, you want to talk about candidates for defensive player of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Chase Young is a problem. That man, and I hate Ohio State, so I hate giving him his due, but that man he's a problem. So I'm gonna go with the Washington football team.
And I have Washington as my final wild card team.
I think the Cowboys are going to do something, but I'm picking Fitzmagic.
Go with Fitzmagic there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right, NFC North, we'll go Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears. Who you got?
This is
Chris, are you keeping track of these picks so I can come on and gloat at the end of the season for being right and shitting on these two for being wrong?
I'm not. I really don't care like that.
He's watching.
Oh, Jesus. He's not doing nothing. Come on,
He's
man.
watching What If or something.
we got it on video.
That's why we're live, so we can go back on demand anytime.
All right, NFC North, who you got?
I got the Packers, the revenge of Aaron Rodgers last season with the Packers.
Green Bay. Although Minnesota, I think Minnesota can give them a little bit of a run there. Chicago, to me, they're a year or two away, especially with Fields. I think Fields is going to be a really good quarterback. For them, it's just when you put him on the field because Dalton is Dalton. So we'll see. He might get in after week one. He might even get in the first half of week one, depending on how Dalton looks.
Yep. Throw 3 picks.
The red rifle.
Yeah, but I'm going with Rodgers here. Regardless of what happens after the season, I still like the Packers to win that division.
I'm gonna go with the Packers too.
All right, NFC South: Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta. This is gonna be a clean sweep.
Going to Bucks. There ain't no team touching them, especially with the Saints without Breeze. They're not
you going with Jameis eating W?
Famous. Nah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go with Buccaneers. They proved themselves at the end of the year. Buccaneers.
New Orleans was so ravaged by salary cap issues. They lost so many starters, and then the couple that they're coming in. Mike Thomas is going to be out the first probably 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
They just traded for Bradley Roby, who suspended the first game of the year because of PED. So Alvin Kamara is great, but he's not that great.
He's not the savior.
Not enough to win the division.
Yeah, I'm a sadly pick the Buccaneers. Who would have thought? The creamsicle jersey Buccaneers.
Those are they're not. Do you like the creamsicles or do you hate the creamsicle?
I love the creamsicle.
I do. I love them.
Well, look what you have on right now. Like, of course,
I love them.
All right, so that's the NFC predictions there. Let's hop over to the AFC side. We'll start out west again. AFC West. Let's go. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. Who you got?
Chiefs. Until I see somebody stop that Chiefs offense, it ain't gonna happen.
I'm gonna go Chiefs. I think they might have the one with 3 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, Los Angeles, the Chargers. They could have finished 12-4, 13-3 last year if they weren't so terrible in situational football. Which is one of the reasons why they got a new coach in there. Yeah. Herbert's a guy. He's going to be, a great quarterback for 10 to 12 years. The knock with them is they can't stay healthy. Bosa, Derwin James, if you stay healthy, that defense is going to be solid. So it's all about how they handle the little parts of the game that matter in the NFL, where that actually turns into wins and losses. So you got them, the Broncos. Broncos defense is going to be really good. It's just a matter of how far can Bridgewater take them. Bridgewater is not going to be a guy to hurt you. He's not going to be a guy to cost you a game, but can he go out and win you a game? He has weapons there. They got the rookie running back Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon's still there, Judy, Fant, Cortland Sutton's coming back. So they have weapons. It's just whether or not how much are you going to get out of Bridgewater?
Yep.
Chiefs are the Chiefs. There's no question in that. The Raiders are a fucking dumpster fire. So this division and the NFC West, for me, looking at it, were the two hardest to pick. Even though it's Kansas City, I think the Chargers and the Broncos will be better than what they were last year. all that being said, it's the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Like I'm not going to pick against them right now.
Yeah. And I got the Chargers as one of my wild card teams from that division.
All right, so let's go with the AFC South. Miami, New England, or that's the AFC East.
That's the East. That's the East.
South, Texans, Jaguars, Colts, Titans. Automatically, you can eliminate 2 teams from this list because the Jaguars and Texans have no chance in hell, as somebody likes to say. So it's between Indy and Tennessee. Who you got?
I have the Colts, actually. I like their defense a lot. And
Defense is solid.
And I'm not a big fan of Carson Wentz, but I think he got a lot to prove. He's going to show the league what he could do. And I have Tennessee as another wild card team.
I got Tennessee with Julio and Brown and Henry.
Julio, Brown, and Henry. That's fucking solid. They have, their O line's still really good. The defense is going to be what's going to determine their season in my eyes. I think the offense will be fine. Although they do have a new play caller over there, so we'll see how that works out. Changing coordinators sometimes has a bigger impact than what you think. I hope Vrabel's smart enough to realize, hey, that fucking man-child back there in the backfield, his number's 22. Just give him the fucking ball. Keep wearing give the ball to Derek shirts whenever you go to games because don't get cute just because you have AJ Brown and Julio down there and you want to throw 50 times a game. Like stick to your bread and butter. Donald, I agree. I like Indy a lot. Their defense solid last year, really good. The only question marks for them is Wentz was already out preseason with that foot injury. It's supposed to be taken care of. He'll be back. Quentin Nelson's the same way, same surgery, same injury. T.Y. Hilton's out for a while. Can Michael Pittman, Zach Pascal, and Paris Campbell, who hasn't been healthy since he's coming to the league, are they going to be enough? Backfield-wise, Indy might have one of the best backfields in the NFL. They just re-signed Naheem Hines. They got Jonathan Taylor. Marlon Mack's still there. So, again, what are you going to get out of your quarterback? Because that'll ultimately decide how they go. All right, AFC East. Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. Who am I thinking?
Bills.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about them because we're playing them tomorrow, and I don't want to fucking remember them.
I got the Bills winning the division, and then I have the Dolphins as my final wild card team out of there.
2 of the Bills, picking the Bills.
This is going to pain me to say this. And with every being in my body, I do not want to say this. The Patriots are back. Poor old Stu Gottsline. Patriots are back.
I was thinking that too because their whole defense is coming back. Remember, they all opted out last year.
Listen, they had so many people opt out last year. They had injuries across the O-line. They get all those people back. They spent $150 million in free agency, and that doesn't always necessarily win you games. But when you're Bill Belichick and you sign the players that he signed, I have faith in Belichick to know I'm signing the right people. It's not like Washington signing freaking Albert Hainsworth to a $100 million contract, and he was out of the league in 2 years. This is Bill fucking Belichick. So until they prove me wrong, I'm going to go with the Patriots there. And I have Mac Jones as a fantasy quarterback, so we're good there. All right, AFC Northwise, here we go. Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns. What do we got?
Pains me to say it, but I'm going with the Browns in the division this year. The Ravens are just ravaged by injuries. I love the Steelers to death, but I have no belief in the offensive line and the defensive backs at all. And the Bengals are just the Bengals. They'll never be good in my lifetime ever again.
Jay?
I'm
going to go with the Steelers. My loyalty runs with the WWE.
The Homer in you continues.
As he's wearing all black and gold right now, too.
I had to take the emotional hat off here looking at this and actually look at it with legitimate lenses instead of colored ones. I had to go with clear ones. Baltimore, I think coming into it was one of the ones that you could automatically peg to win that division. The injury bug, like you said, Donald has absolutely killed them. They just re-signed Latavius Murray. They signed Le'Veon Bell. I think they even signed Devontae Freeman. So you have those three backs.
They said boys are gonna be outside the stadium with Letterman jerseys on, looking for a shot.
It's bad. It's bad over there. But I mean that
Miles.
The defense has been hit with injuries too. I know the offensive side has gotten more news time because of the names that have gone down, but that defense is banged up coming into the year too. But the Ravens are always good, so they'll be in it to win it. The Browns, on paper, that team is legit. You saw it last year. They won a playoff game. They beat the Steelers. We're not going to rehash that because it was one of the worst performances ever. But, I mean, there's not too many knocks when you look at this team talent-wise from a roster standpoint that you can point at and say that's their weakness. That's how we're going to attack them. You have Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney on the front. Linebackers are solid. The secondary, you got Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward out there coming back. Offensive side of the ball, Landry, Hunt, Chubb, Hooper, Njoku, fucking OBJ's coming back. Again, this is more of what is Baker going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, it's all on Baker because that team everywhere else is a championship quality team as well as long as they can come together and perform. But if you're just looking roster wise, that's a team that you would say they're going to be in the Super Bowl. Just whether or not Baker can play and what he does with that roster. I still think they're going to ground and pound it consistently with Chubb and Hunt. Like there's no reason to get away from that. But how good is Baker going to be? Steelers, Donald, for me, same concerns. O-line, secondary depth. Tomorrow's gonna tell the story of their year.
Yes, it is.
To me, I think Buffalo's gonna eat up that O-line, and it's gonna be a long day. Steelers are -6.5 right now. I think. If I'm a bet man, I may actually bet the Bills tomorrow. I just can't say the Browns winning the division. The Browns and winning division just don't go together.
It hurts.
But I'll go chalk here and go with the rest of the national media and go with the Browns. Steelers, if the offensive line can gel a little bit and is serviceable, Steelers, I think, will be better than expected. I just don't know, 8 and 9.
You haven't made the playoffs.
10-7.
I don't have it making the playoffs at all.
No, I don't. Will they have a losing record? I don't know. It hasn't happened under Tomlin, but you can't finish 500 no more. So you either win or you lose.
It's black and white now. That's it.
So you're either 8 and 9 or you're 9 and 8. I don't see the Steelers being too much more than that, honestly. Which sucks because, given Ben's age and where he's at, not really having a legitimate person behind him to take over the reins. I'd rather them be shitty and get a higher draft pick to take a quarterback, although this year's quarterback class is kind of weak when you look at it. However, throwing this out there now as a little pre-draft prediction. There's a Pittsburgh kid, he plays his football in Boston College that is built just like Ben Roethlisberger and led the ACC in passing yards last year. Phil Dracovic. Might see him in a Steelers uniform next year. Just throwing that out there as a quarterback that's not Spencer Rattler or any of these other guys that are getting the national hype.
The pub.
So, all right, that's it for NFL predictions. We'll see who's right, who's wrong.
Do we have Super Bowl winners?
I do. I did my research. Yeah, I have for the AFC Championship game, I have Chiefs and Bills rematch. NFC, I have Packers and Rams. I think the
Damn,
Rams.
you did the whole playoffs.
I did do the
You
playoffs.
simulated. You went on Madden and said,
I don't even have Madden. I don't even have Madden, so I don't even know. So the Super Bowl, I got the Chiefs over the Rams, and I got Aaron Rodgers as MVP in his last year.
You got Rodgers with back-to-back MVPs?
Yes, I do. It's the revenge tour.
I'm going to take off my Homer hat, and I'm going to go Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs winning.
It's so hard to pick against the Chiefs right now. Like, I mean, we haven't seen a team go 3 straight years to the Super Bowl since the Bills did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just doesn't happen in the NFL. It's a league of parity for a reason. I'll go Chiefs. Give me Bucks Bills. I'll go with the double B's.
Chris, get in here because you know your take is always
right. You picked them last year.
Bucks win the Super Bowl back to back.
Oh, before we jump off of sports, one last thing before we jump off of sports, and I know we're running long today, but so what? Chris, what the hell are the fucking Penguins doing? What are they doing? What are they doing?
It's not looking good for him right now.
How long is Crosby out?
He's going to be out for,
I think 6 to 8 weeks. I think the last I saw. Now I'm still not up on everything. Like I haven't got back into like my normal swing of things yet, like catching up on all news. So
why did they wait to have the surgery?
That's what everybody's wondering.
I was talking about this at one of the guys at work, and they said possibly since the season's about to start, they could be a watchful eye under their doctors and everything.
But so, it's been lingering since last year. Like,
yeah.
Like you know when the season ends, and this happens in the NFL all the time, right? Season ends and you hear, oh no, but I'm saying season ends and you hear, oh, so and so got his knee scoped. Oh, so and so got this done. So and so got that done. When the season ended, he should have had this wrist surgery right then and there. What are you waiting
cleared for the beginning of the season?
So he can heal and rehab and be ready for the season.
Yep.
Right.
Or even if you have to miss a few games in the beginning of the season, cool. But at least you know you're getting there.
And it was knocked out the first round the last 3 years, so I mean you had enough time.
They're done already before the season gets started with him and Malkin out.
And maybe and to Donald, your point there, maybe that's part of why they're doing what they're doing, because sometimes they hot shot the first half of the season, then after the All-Star game they kind of shit the bed and always shit the playoffs. So maybe they're hoping for longevity this year. I don't know, but
your top line center's last name is Bluger. You're not doing anything in the fucking NHL this year.
And with that, we had this discussion last year too of the Penguins need to change some shit up.
They should have traded Malkin.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument out of me on that.
It's Britt Baker is truly the only Pittsburgh hope.
One quick thing, just to give a shout out to Woody High alum Joy Taylor. Launches her own Fox Sports radio show today, the Joy Taylor Show. It's going to be on 2 to 4 every Saturday, and her brother Jason Taylor will be her first guest today.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah,
congrats, Joy. Shout out Woody High alum representing woman's voice out there, representing, doing big things. I followed Joy since she was down in Miami, just listening and keeping tabs. But shout out to her doing big things, getting her own show on Sirius there or on Fox and running with it. So kudos to her. Anybody got anything else in sports related? No. All right, let's get into one gotta go so I can argue with Jason some more. I might have to go smoke something after this fucking episode.
Before we get to the next argument, last week, Steve, your pick was game shows between Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right, Family Feud, and Jeopardy.
Yep.
This was by far our most voted on polls that we've done today.
I was a little surprised at the top two, but
it was before Donald's poll. My results were 1 vote off from things. With Donald's results factored in, which in a landslide, I was right. Price is Right, gotta go.
Yeah, I think the one poll had Family Feud being the most.
Our Twitter poll was Family Feud.
Yeah, Twitter poll was Family Feud.
On my poll, I had 0 for Family Feud.
Yeah, that was crazy.
0.
Yeah, so and the Twitter poll was actually Family Feud, and then Price is Right was second. So they wanted to keep Jeopardy
and Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
In highest to least amount of votes, it went Price is Right, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, then Jeopardy.
So most people wanted Jeopardy to stay?
All you people aren't that fucking smart.
Yeah.
Like
I think the recency bias with the Jeopardy.
It could be. You know, the prisoner of the moment.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what do you got for us this week since it was your beer of the week? Your turn to do One Gotta Go. What you got?
This week, we're going back to food. This time, we're going to do mall food court snacks. Auntie Anne's, Orange Julius, Cinnabon, or Mrs. Fields.
Now, are you counting the Orange Julius with Dairy Queen? Are you counting that combo? Because
no,
are you just doing Orange Julius by itself?
On its own, so we're just gonna go with Orange Julius on its own.
Oh well, then for that, Orange Julius got to go. If it's just by itself and not halvesies with Dairy Queen, Orange Julius got to go. That's easy.
Dairy Queen isn't necessarily a mall staple. You can get that anywhere. Where the rest of them, that's only in the mall you get those.
Yeah, Orange Julius got to go. I'm not getting rid of Auntie Anne's pretzels. No way in hell. Cinnabon, no.
You can only find them in airports.
Yeah, it's not even a mall staple. I don't even think I've ever seen a Cinnabon in a mall. I've seen them in airports. I've never seen them in a mall.
It used to be in the mall.
They used to be. They didn't even have their own shop. They had like the middle kiosk.
It wasn't in Monroeville Mall way back in the day either. Like, what are we doing here?
Weren't they in I think? Yeah.
Mrs. Fields, Mrs. Fields. I mean, come on now. And Orange Julius, deuces.
Look, sweets. I'm not getting rid of Mrs. Fields. Not getting rid of Cinnabon. Auntie Anne's got the cinnamon pretzel. Not getting rid of that. Orange Julius got to go.
Auntie Anne's, that's definitely not going anywhere. A couple years ago, they had these mini pretzel bites with cheese that were cheese stuffed. Oh my God, were they heaven? They tasted like mini grilled cheese sandwiches. Oh, they were so delicious. I wish they still had those.
Auntie Anne's has a pretzel truck that they post up down the waterfront.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an Auntie Anne's fix, go hit up the Auntie Anne's food truck down there.
I like Orange Julius. Cinnabon I like. Mrs. Fields I like. Only complaint, Mrs. Fields is too damn expensive.
It is.
Oh,
that's a ridiculous amount of money for her.
Everything in the mall is too damn expensive.
I've only seen the Orange Julius in the movies. Is that bad?
But like Steve said, most of them are paired with Dairy Queens.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's like the A&W and Long John Silver's pairing. You know what I mean? Like if you're going into the mall, you have Orange Julius and Dairy Queen. They're going to be in the same spot. Like,
but for me, because of those damn expensive cookies, as much as I like them, Mrs. Fields can go.
You cheapskate.
I'm about to pull out my Mrs. Fields 10 you bought me a couple years ago. Where's that?
This dude will splurge on a $16 single German stout beer, but he won't spend $6 on Mrs. Fields.
Yeah, for one cookie.
And that cookie's worth every penny. That cookie's worth every penny.
I can get a good quality cookie at Sheetz for $1 too.
All right, we're going to have to hit up cookies because you're throwing some slander out there on Mrs. Fields. It's not appreciated right now.
The cookie's good. I'm not going to argue with the taste of them.
So with this list, what's one thing Donald don't do? Oh, I don't eat pastries at all. It's been 21 years since I ate pastries. So
I'll kick you out that bottom screen.
Are you really about to say what I think you're about to say?
You bet.
I never ate it.
I'll drive to your house in Monroeville right now and punch you in the face.
I never ate it on the Ann's. I don't know what Orange Julius is. I never ate a Cinnabon, and I never ate at Mrs. Fields. So what the hell am I supposed to do? So you just go with the one I don't know.
Podcast. That's what you're supposed to do. Not be on this show.
So what am I supposed to do? So
this dude's never watched. He's never watched a comedy movie. Doesn't like comedies.
I don't like comedies. Yeah.
Doesn't like sugar.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. This list isn't the the prison brownie that your girlfriends bring you from felonies and parolees. Jeez, oh man, Joe.
Donald, no joke. Before you give your answer, I actually thought this was going to be a good one for you because you worked in the mall. I thought you had all of these.
No. Oh, well, I don't eat that stuff.
Hey,
I don't know.
There's other stuff besides Sombrero in the mall, Donald.
Yeah.
Potato patch.
Yeah, there's Charlie's, there's Subway. Yeah, I know about all the food. This is fucking snacks.
Don't even let this guy get a vote. Don't even let him get a vote. Just end the segment.
I don't know what Orange Julius is, so that's off. I know what the other three are.
Cinnabon off. I was gonna come down there and
I know what's
Jason.
Again, I know the other three. I don't know what Orange Julius is, so it's an unknown. I don't know what it is. It gotta go. Again, fuck this game.
Do they sell more than orange juice?
I don't know. I don't know what they are.
They're like almost like a smoothie in a way.
Since you gave Chris homework to watch movies that he still hasn't watched, your job's to drive around to the malls today and eat fucking Auntie Anne's.
We need to have that sweets challenge.
No.
Want to get me with Arby's? Let's go have a sugar high.
No, isn't necessarily sweets. It's just a pretzel.
No, I'm not a big.
Yeah, you don't like soft pretzels?
They don't even have the best pretzels in the game.
I'm not a big fan of pretzels. I don't like pretzels all like that. I'll take chips over pretzels. But no, I won't eat that.
They're the same kind of pretzels.
No.
That buttery texture to that pretzel. I don't know how old Annie Ann's is, but she'll get it.
So yeah, so for everybody, yeah. So come at me with
Donald don't eat sweets. Chris is trying to bang Mrs. Auntie Anne. Like, let's just wrap this up. Son of a bitch, cut me off again. Cut me off again. Hit the button, cut me off again.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. It doesn't matter. You ran the new graphic. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
You long pause. I insert graphic. Thanks, boys and girls, for tuning in to episode 53. Make sure that you tune in every Saturday when we go live at 11 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can listen on demand anytime on your favorite podcast platforms. Make sure you follow us at DumbMarksPod on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And don't forget to buy our merchandise, ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod.
And somebody sent me Lipitor because my blood pressure is sky high right now from talking to you. Final thoughts. What do you guys got to wrap up the show? Anything? Nothing?
No.
Tennessee's up 13-7 now, so if you
fuck yourself, Donald.
That's what you want to know.
I'm gonna get off and watch Young Doogie Howser.
Let me know how that is.
Huh?
Let me know how it is. I'm not going to voluntarily just start watching that because I haven't heard anything about
it. Rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. Actor, probably most famously known for his portrayal of Omar on The Wire. Although he's been in a ton of other stuff. You look at like characters in shows and movies and everything else, and like there's certain characters that you just say the name and you automatically the individual that played the character and what show it is, like it just automatically pops into your head just because of how good it was. Like to me, you say Jax Teller and I automatically think of Charlie Hunnam. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just goes there automatically. Like the embodiment of the show, everything. Although The Wire was filled with a ton of people and everything else, to me, when you say Omar, it's automatically The Wire. Like I know exactly, like, and you just hear Omar's coming. Like, shout out to him.
I've never watched The Wire, but when you say Omar and when you I never watched it.
Time out.
And I'm not doing my homework on this either.
Time out.
Look, I live a block away from The Wire. I don't need that.
Listen. Hey, I'm gonna go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go onto your favorite site, Facebook. Okay. I'm gonna reach out to a few people on there, a la Michelle Nesby and some other people. I'm gonna throw out there, oh hey, Jason's never seen The Wire. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna. Well, Chris, what I'm about to. You too, Donald?
Nope. After
All right,
Oz was over with, I was done with it.
But look,
Chris, this doesn't apply to you, Chris. This doesn't apply to you. You two, the BC card that you guys walk around in your wallet with, it's gonna come and get stolen.
Not for
this. Wait.
You lost membership.
I haven't had that since 7th grade, so
I still got mine.
You've lost membership. You've never watched The Wire.
Mm-mm.
The Wire is arguably one of the greatest television shows of all time.
I was trying to give you a take, and you.
No,
I was just going to tell you that.
No,
I'm not saying it's trash. No, I'm just saying when you say Omar, I think of Michael K.
Yeah, exactly. I know,
but now we go on.
You never watched that. You just absolutely just unbelievable. I can't believe. Wow.
For me, once Oz ended, I was done with like HBO series at that time.
Well, there goes my HBO series. One got to go where I was going to throw up Sopranos, The Wire, Oz, and I was debating on my fourth to debate which show was better, which show got to go. But considering you guys watched The Wire,
I never saw Oz either.
Never seen any of them. I've seen parts of Oz.
What are we even doing here? Like, why do we even have a show?
What's that vampire movie? Is it
that's True Blood.
True Blood? Would you throw True Blood up there? No, you got to put in Game of Thrones.
See, I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I was thinking more of either Entourage.
Look, I'm gonna go on Facebook and tag the people I know and say, Steve, this white guy here never saw Game of Thrones.
You want to know? Yeah,
this white guy never saw it either. So.
Yeah. I think people would give you more flack for you not seeing The Wire than for me not watching Game of Thrones.
And
I didn't watch Game of Thrones because I wasn't paying $17 a month for HBO. So that's why I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
It's a good thing to start in Power Watch now.
No, it's not. I'll save you. I'll save you. No, it's not. You're good without it.
Watch up to season 7, okay? It's only 8 seasons, but watch up to season 7.
No,
I heard the ending. I heard the ending was an extreme letdown, and it was not worth. It was not worth the investment of time that people put in for 7 seasons.
No,
that's what people felt about Sopranos too.
Never watched.
See, I didn't mind the Sopranos ending. I wasn't like, oh my god, greatest ending ever, but I wasn't up in arms about it as much as everybody else was. Whenever
was the whole season bad?
No, the whole last season was not bad.
The ending was
the way the ending happened. People were upset about because
the last season was great. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then they got
it was not a letdown, but I can't believe you've never watched The Wire.
Never.
Unreal.
When I found out my man wasn't in a wheelchair for real, I never wanted to watch Oz again.
That's where we're going with that.
Oz was
like episode 2.
I loved Oz. I did. I loved Oz, and I just was like, after that, I'm done with HBO series for now.
I seen my man walking in the best man, and was like, nah.
You yelled the screen. Where's your wheelchair? How's he walking? What type of miracle is this?
Were you over it by the time Glee started? Because that kid wasn't in a wheelchair either.
Oh, he's not?
No.
God damn.
You didn't
kayfabe.
Yeah.
I need kayfabe. Oh, damn. Okay.
No kayfabe, brother. No kayfabe. Why? All right. Anybody got anything else?
Nah, send it down.
Wait. I'm
wow, Rip.
Oh, I'm clapping for Pitt? No.
What happened there, Donald?
Pitt scored. It's 14-13 now.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Off a trick play.
Is it on ABC today or is it on ACC?
It's on ESPN. Just regular ESPN.
Yes, you might tune in.
All right. We all good?
We all
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wrap up the show here. A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. Donald, you liking the Volunteers is a mistake. Makes you humble.
I'm trying to listen to the quote, and he's down to react to the game. And
all right, way to end the fucking. This is terrible. Wrap it up. Jeez, oh man. Go Pitt.